Welcome to the exciting world of RC model helicopters. Although the sport of RC model helicopters is only in its second decade, already many tens of thousands are being flown all over the world. Gora Model Products is the premium manufacturer and importer of RC helicopters in the United States and one of the largest in the world. Its products are reliable and well supported by more than 1,000 hobby stores in the USA and worldwide. Also, and very important, GMP helicopters have built-in flight qualities which allow the pilot to fully utilize his skills for both fun and contest-winning flying. The smallest model in the GMP range is the Cricket, which has proven itself by sales of nearly 20,000 kits worldwide. Cricket is an extremely simple but rugged helicopter which is easy to learn on, and because it is made in the USA has an advantage of low-cost parts availability nationwide, unequaled by any other helicopter. Cricket, although considered a beginner's helicopter, is also an exciting machine for experts to fly. In fact, Cricket has won the intermediate level class in the USA national competitions. As you can see, Cricket presents an exciting picture of poetry and motion in the air, and it is capable of all maneuvers of a full-size helicopter as well as many other maneuvers. GMP has had a long and successful business relationship with the Hirobo company of Japan and has produced helicopters with the best features of both companies. The most popular machine is the GMP Cobra. 50% of Cobra's parts are made in the USA and 50% are made in Japan. Cobra is the #1 selling medium-sized helicopter in the world. It possesses all possible design features and has finely machined construction. Cobra's building and assembly manual has setup instructions which are unequaled for completeness, so that Cobra literally flies right off the building board. Spare parts are available nationwide. Cobra has already won the expert class of the USA Nationals twice, and many local and regional contest trophies continue to be awarded to pilots utilizing Cobra's fine aerobatic performance. Cobra is capable, of course, of all the advanced aerobatic maneuvers which a model helicopter can perform. But apart from this, it is agile as well as being extremely stable and easy to fly. The unique qualities of easy controllability yet great stability are hard to define and even harder to attain. All GMP helicopters are designed and tested to have these qualities before they are offered to you. Many expert flyers define it as the GMP feel. We are now looking at GMP's latest derivative of the Cobra range, the King Cobra. The King Cobra is an RC helicopter suitable for 60-size engines, and it is very competitive in the FAI international competition field. King Cobra, although it provides the expert flyer with competition performance, is also a budget-priced, finely machined, and well-supported helicopter. Now let's see the most highly prized competition helicopter in the world, the GMP Competitor. The Competitor is also derived from one of Hirobo's well-known 60-powered helicopters, but has been given the appearance and performance most liked by the American flyer. Competitor has probably won more competitions in the USA than all the other helicopter makes combined. Competitor is powered with a .60 cubic inch engine and, as you can see, presents a majestic but very stable profile in the sky. Look for the more senior contests and you'll find flyers using their GMP competitors. A derivative of the Cobra helicopter is the GMP Cobra Jet Ranger. Cobra's mechanics can, of course, be put into any scale fuselage and are particularly suitable for this because of their low profile, and also because of the top cone starter. This means that your helicopter can preserve its scale appearance without the need for access to a starting belt from one of the side windows. The particular model that you are watching now, the GMP Cobra Jet Ranger, is being flown by Robert Gorham, 3 times USA National Champion. The The Cobra Jet Ranger that he is flying is identical to the one which he used to gain the top place of the 1985 American team and highest placing American position in the 1985 World Championships. Cobra flyers all over the world are winning competitions, but apart from its competitive abilities, Cobra also provides smooth, realistic, and pleasing flight characteristics. Cobra and Competitor are both widely used as the mechanics of many spectacular movie crashes and aerobatic scenes. The GMP Cobra Jet Ranger is surely one of the world's finest and most popular RC helicopters. Now, let's watch some very advanced maneuvers of which the Cobra Jet Ranger is capable. Here is the 360 nose-in hover. This is one of the most difficult maneuvers to do, but the Cobra's fine flight characteristics ensure that many good helicopter flyers all over the USA can make their Cobra Jet Rangers perform in a similar manner. Now we see one of Hirobo's prize-scale helicopters, the SST range. They are imported exclusively into the USA by Gorham Model Products. This range now includes the Jet Ranger, the Augusta 109, the Corvette, and the Ecurial or Twin Star. The SST Jet Ranger uses a very advanced rotor head design which is known as the DDF, or the dual dampened flapping head. All mechanical parts of this helicopter are exquisitely machined, and the SST series is highly prized by the scale buff who values precision over all else. Don't underestimate its aerobatic capabilities, however, since the SST range of helicopters can perform all the maneuvers needed in aerobatic competition, including auto rotation, which you see here. Gorham Model Products not only produces a wide range of kits for the modeler, but also designs and manufactures remote-controlled helicopters for military use. Here is a 1/10 scale Hind, which uses the Cobra mechanics and is already being tested by the U.S. Army for use in training, recognition, target practice, and other R&D activities. This particular Hind is an inexpensive way for the Army to get an introduction into the use of remote-controlled helicopters. Gorham Model Products also produces a 1/5 scale Hind for the Army, which weighs over 150 pounds, has a 10-foot diameter rotor span, and is powered by a 350cc engine. The 1/5 scale Hind has been produced in small quantities at the Gorham Model Products plant in Calabasas. Now we see one of the latest models in the GMP range, the Hirobo Shuttle. The Shuttle is truly an innovative step taken by an RC helicopter manufacturer, since it is the first ready-made and assembled RC helicopter available in your local hobby store. Shuttle is mainly constructed of glass-filled plastics, but don't underestimate it because of that. Its flight and aerobatic capabilities are unsurpassed. Although it uses a small 28 engine and therefore has the agility and the low noise and economy of the Cricket, the Shuttle also has all of the features of its bigger brothers, such as collective pitch, Bell-Hiller mix, and auto rotation capability. Let's watch the Shuttle for a few moments during one of its graceful flight profiles. As you can see, Shuttle is very stable but also very responsive, as are all the models in the GMP range. Also, please note that all GMP helicopters have a prolific parts availability from the headquarters in Calabasas, California, and nearly all major RC helicopter dealers can provide replacement parts right off the shelf. Here is a very advanced maneuver being performed with the Shuttle, pirouettes while in forward flight. Forward being the trajectory of the helicopter, not the direction in which the nose is pointing. This illustrates one of the differences between a helicopter and a plane. Imagine this, a plane flying forward while at the same time doing pirouettes around its vertical axis. Now, here is a 4-point pirouette, which is one of the maneuvers required in the RC Helicopter World Championships. Shuttle sells in tremendous quantities, and already there are many thousands of shuttles flying all over the USA and many more all over the world. A truly innovative product by the great Hirobo Company of Japan, handled exclusively in the USA by Gorham Model Products. Now, having seen some of the techniques performed by our advanced flyers, Let us look at the other end of the spectrum, your first steps when you purchase an RC helicopter and begin to learn. Here you see a Cricket which is sitting on its training gear, an accessory which is also available from Gorham Model Products. The purpose of the training gear is to widen the stance of the landing gear and at the same time, by the use of the balls, allow the helicopter to rotate and slide around on the ground. This permits you to test the results of radio inputs without hazard to your helicopter. Remember, spectators must remain a minimum of 150 feet away from pilot and helicopter. Now let's watch our student commence his training exercises with his shuttle helicopter. But before you make your initial attempts at learning to hover, there are some important adjustments which you must make. First, of course, he will start the engine. Connecting the 1.5 volt glow plug battery to the glow plug and with the use of an electric starter and the starting belt of the helicopter, he will start the engine. The throttle of the transmitter must be set to 0 position and the trim to full up. The carburetor barrel will be slightly open so that when the engine starts it will run at a medium idle speed. Pretty soon the engine will start, and then the starter can be removed and the belt tucked up neatly into the helicopter so that it cannot interfere with the running of the engine. Now the learner has the helicopter on the ground, facing away from him. He advances the throttle lever and runs the engine at about 1/3 throttle. He looks at the blade tips to see how the blades are tracking. As you can see, the red blade is rotating in a plane just above the yellow blade. This means that the rotational plane of the red blade must be lowered or the plane of the yellow blade raised. By use of the ball link pliers, the ball link which connects the swash plate to the rotor head mixing arm is removed and is adjusted in or out to increase or decrease the pitch of the blade. If it was the yellow blade that the link was connected to, then the flyer would increase the length of the rod and so increase the pitch of the blade. With the Cricket, this is accomplished by using a wrench to bend the end of the blade grips and increase or decrease the pitch angle of that particular blade. There is a certain amount of trial and error in this, but after a while you get used to the amount of adjustment needed. Now you can see the blades are in track, so our flyer lands the helicopter and prepares for his next adjustment. Even after the main rotor blades are tracking correctly, our flyer may find that his helicopter is still shaking. This nearly always indicates that the main rotor head unit is out of balance. To cure this, he needs to make some balance adjustments. Even though the head may have been balanced perfectly before being installed on the helicopter, there are other factors which can cause a vibration when the head is rotating at high speed. This problem is similar to the one on your automobile, which is solved by a dynamic balance check and the addition of lead weights to the wheel rim. The problem is solved in a similar manner with your helicopter by adding 1 inch wide by 3 inch long strips of blade covering material to the center of either rotor blade. Add 1 strip, and if the vibration increases, remove it and fit one to the other rotor blade. Now move it out or in along the blade until vibration is at the minimum level. If there is still vibration present, then an adjustment of flybar balance weights usually eliminates the vibration. Move one weight out and test for vibration. If improved, move some more. If worse, move the other weight out. As you can see, after these adjustments, our helicopter is now running nice and smooth, so we will now learn to hover. Please remember that flying or hovering practice with a helicopter which is shaking badly must be avoided, as it will influence the effectiveness of control movements and will also wear out your helicopter very quickly. The consequent failure to maintain adequate control can result in a very dangerous situation for the pilot or spectator in the area. Now our pilot is beginning his first exercise of moving the rudder lever on the transmitter to the right and to the left and observing the response of the helicopter. This should be practiced for at least a couple of tanks of fuel until you are thoroughly confident that you can point the nose of the helicopter in any direction you wish and can hold it there. All this time the throttle setting must be sufficient to just float the helicopter without it actually leaving the ground. Once control of the tail has been learned, then the flyer can try very short hovers by increasing the throttle power until the helicopter just lifts off the ground a few inches. Once the helicopter is in the air, forward and sideways motions will be controlled by the right-hand stick, while the left-hand stick controls the rudder and the throttle. Remember that we have already learned how to control the rudder, so learning the fore and aft and sideways motion is now that much easier. Depending upon the ability and skill of the flyer, learning how to hover can take as little as 3 tanks of fuel or as long as several weeks. Don't despair if it does take a while, because it is well within the capabilities of nearly everybody to learn how to achieve this most wonderful feeling of holding a helicopter stationary in the air several feet above the ground. You can do it. Once the short hops have been accomplished, then the flyer can try for longer hovers. But never try to hover more than a few seconds at a time at first, for this way you will learn more quickly and almost entirely reduce the risk of crashing your helicopter. Of course, in this video, the progress of this flyer would probably take a period of a day or even a week or 2. Now our student is hovering for as long as 10 or 15 seconds. And he is able to hold the helicopter very close to the position he desires. Soon he will learn to fly to the right and back to the left again, which he does by controlling sideways motion with the right-hand stick. At this point, all of the heartaches and expenditures suddenly become worthwhile, as you are truly flying your first RC model helicopter. Our student is now continuing the exercises of maneuvering his helicopter forward and backward and sideways too. It is essential to become extremely proficient at hovering before you transition into forward flight. Please do not treat a helicopter like a plane and move off into forward flight. That part of it is not so difficult. Bringing it back in again requires the skill of being proficient at hovering. So learn that well, and learn it first. Now our flyer has become proficient at hovering, and he is going to try some more advanced maneuvers. He has already learned moving sideways and controlling the direction of the heli, so the next logical step is to put the two together and make the helicopter fly to the right and to the left, and doing a 180-degree turn at the end of the sideways motion, the S-turn. Soon the thrill of this achievement increases his feeling that everything is even more worthwhile. At this point, our helicopter flyer is probably hooked until he can reach the advanced stages of auto rotation and inverted flight. Once the S-turn is learned, the last step before transition into faster forward flight is the pilot flying around himself in a circle, a short distance above the ground. This gives the least chance of a problem, and if a problem does arise, the best chance of getting the helicopter down without damage. Notice that the forward speed is also controlled to a reasonably slow level. A helicopter would normally want to go fast, but your thought processes must then be quicker. You should keep the forward speed down. So now you are flying in a 360-degree circle. This means that you have to fly the helicopter while looking sideways at it, which is a little more difficult than the tail end you have been doing before. If you can achieve this exercise correctly, then all you have to do to go into forward flight is widen the circle and increase the altitude. Now, at last, you are really flying your RC model helicopter. If you are already a fixed-wing RC pilot, at this stage you will find an RC helicopter remarkably similar to fly in forward flight. But don't get too carried away at first. Either way, remember, you have to land again. Good luck in your efforts, and let us hope this brief insight into learning how to fly will help you make your decision to purchase or make your first step of learning how to fly with the least grief and damage to your helicopter. Now let's return to some of the more advanced flying techniques. If you've reached the forward flight stage that we've just shown, you can be sure that you'll be able to move quickly and become proficient at the flight maneuvers you now see the GMP King Cobra doing. Poetry in motion, the thrill of great achievement, fresh air, fun, and maybe a little expenditure. But when you decide to enter the world of RC model helicopters, the flight excellence which you see here will be your goal. Nose in inverted is very hard to do. Nose and inverted while doing pirouettes is almost impossible, but you can learn to do it. What you see now is a standard GMP RC model helicopter, such as you can buy at your local hobby store. There are many, many people all over the country who can help you learn to fly. We hope this videotape will help you visualize what the ultimate level of flying can be, and also some of the steps you must take in your quest for that goal. Look at this pilot walking around with the helicopter rotating in the opposite direction. Truly a remarkable feat. Finally, here's our GMP Cobra flying at the Malibu, California beach near the blue Pacific waters. So let's watch for a while and let our flyer enjoy himself, showing us the fun that you can have when you own a GMP RC helicopter. We'll conclude with our GMP King Cobra flying over the blue Pacific. And don't forget, if you want fun, outdoor life, great sense of achievement, Gora Model Products can offer it to you with their wide range of RC model helicopters, excellent support, a fine accessory line, and expert help. Buy GMP and fly with confidence.
lost one section here when I started touring because I thought he was going to go that way. But other than that, Robert. Yeah. Incredible. What are your thoughts? Absolutely.
Oh, honey, it looks real. I don't know one thing to say.
I did like that noise, yeah. And the engine.
This summer, we visited Gorham Model Products in Calabasas, California, to get a closer look at the new Legend helicopter designed by John Gorham. This helicopter is intended to be a lightweight aerobatic ship ready for competition or sport flying. The Legend incorporates some new design concepts. The most obvious is the flybarless head. In the past, heads without flybars have had several undesirable qualities. One is a pitch roll coupling effect. Another is a sharp pitch up when you increase power, or a sharp pitch down when you reduce power. They also have required very heavy blades. John enjoyed taking on the challenge of designing a flybarless head that would overcome the bad characteristics associated with this type of head. Many months of trial and error went into development. According to John, the greatest challenge was making a head that was so accurate and free of play or slop that many problems with a flybarless head were overcome. The tail is a belt drive system designed to be simple and reliable. John incorporated a lot of flexibility into this machine with a choice of heads and tail drive systems. Or you can update your current GMP helicopter to a Legend using the flybarless head and tail rotor. Just outside the GMP plant, Robert Gorham put the new Legend through its paces. Designed to be a breakthrough, the Legend is a 9-pound aerobatic helicopter with positive and smooth handling characteristics. With a 60-size engine, the Legend is ready for sport flying or any competition. The Legend from Gorham Model Products.